I don't want to make it seem like I'm bullying or beating up this girl. It's really just that if you're gonna be dishonest, this intellectually dishonest, especially on black men, um, I almost said something I shouldn't have even said. I would just say be better prepared and be willing to hear reactions that you probably wouldn't like.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Tynesha Renee here. We are back with another late night chit chat. So I've been thinking about marriage a lot lately, y'all. And honestly, I'm starting to wonder if what I want is realistic at this point. Based on these statistics.
See, this is a thing that a lot of black women do is that they do this one fits all thing, or to where if they don't get married, if this individual doesn't get married, it's the litmus test for everybody else.
That we've been hearing a lot recently. It seems like black women have this looming cloud of uncertainty when it comes to
I don't know. I think it's just because y'all are so kick ass. Y'all are so better than black men. Y'all are running circles. Like black men are still struggling to get out of a fourth grade education. You guys are getting doctorate degrees at the age of 21, and we're just so far behind. We really can't even keep up with you guys.
falling in love and
Low key, I think you guys should date white men because white men are so much smarter and so much more capable than us.
settling down. Which brings me to today's topic. Should black women marry out? Just so that everyone is on the same page, marrying out is marrying outside of your race. And spoiler alert.
And it's one thing you don't really see a lot of white dudes going, just doing backflips and being like, oh yeah, we got another black woman willing to date interracially. Like, I'm sorry, but to be honest with you guys, like nobody is like that excited to date you guys. Sorry, it's you know, yeah, you'll have a couple, white boys willing to test the waters, but like y'all really, black women really do miss the point to where they don't self reflect and they think that other races of men aren't noticing the bullshit that they do to black men, and white men really are probably, I'll probably say more surprisingly, more tired than y'all than you guys will believe or seem to believe. Like white men are getting tired, from the raging keyboard nerds on YouTube who are crying about diversity in the comic book industry and in movies and in television. That character is supposed to be white. Why is she? Why is the character now a black woman? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you have white guys. I mean, recently, like last week, I believe, there was a story of a light skinned black woman getting sucker punched by a white dude at a gas station out of nowhere. So I'm not really sure where you guys think y'all are gonna go, especially when y'all are now trying to talk about radicalization of black men. I mean, well, the radicalization of white men and all this crazy shit. I really don't even know where. I'm actually surprised that black women aren't even encouraging themselves to date other women. That's the thing that I'm kind of shocked. Like I'm really just kind of waiting in the water as to where I'm like it's somebody's gonna bring it up. Somebody's gonna bring up, you know, should black women date other black women? And surprisingly, this topic was brought up, I want to say 10 years ago, back when Crystal Carrison was writing blogs on her website on Beyond Black and White. I remember, I don't think it was her that wrote it. I think it was one of her contributors wrote about, would it be an option for black women to date other black women? I might have to I might have to do a couple segments on Kristen Carrison's old black and white, Beyond Black and White articles. I don't know if her website is still there though, but we'll see.
If you are a black woman watching this, you might want to consider doing so, sis. I honestly cannot believe that I'm even having this discussion with y'all right now.
I'm shocked that you're losing in Atlanta, out of all places. And isn't this the black mecca? Isn't this, where you have street dudes who are, got a little bit more clout than other rappers in small towns and shit. How many mainstream rappers live in Atlanta? Y'all got Future, Migos, and them. How you losing? And let's just say you want an educated brother. You have 3 HBCUs, which is Clark Atlanta. What else? Actually 2. Cause I'm counting. I was counting Spelman, and that's a school for women. So yeah, you have Clark Atlanta and Morehouse, which is literally the factory of successful black men, like the damn factory. This is where you go to find black men in suits and in lab coats. So when you're having thousands of black men graduate from that college alone, and you're still losing, I don't know what to tell you. I literally don't know what to tell you, because you shouldn't even be losing that in Atlanta. Like, really, Atlanta. And even if, okay, hey, you don't want a brother in an HBCU, you still have other black men in there are like there's at least 3 to 4 major PWIs that black men go to for sure. Georgia State, Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State. Like I think SCAD is there too. But regardless, I'm like, I don't really see how y'all can lose.
Because if you know me and you follow my channel, you know that I love black people, especially black men. But
really, you really want to do this? You love black. These sisters will say so much crap about how much they love black men, but when you literally ask them what do they love about us, they're beatboxing. They can't really think of anything. They'll just kind of hodgepodge it to, well, black men or they'll compare it to like arbitrary bullshit like, oh, black men are so beautiful and they're so handsome, but she's only saying that because her type is 6'2", guys who are chiseled down or whatever. And if you're not if you don't meet those requirements, these women will literally act like you don't exist. But it's funny that this same woman was talking pretty bold, and this was a video she made 3 weeks ago about how nice guys, non-select black men, they don't move her sexually because they're boring as fuck and they're ugly. You was popping all that good shit before. So how does 3 weeks later, now all of a sudden you crying about ain't nobody trying to marry me, ain't nobody trying to marry me? Oh, why you crying now? Why you crying now? You was just mocking guys like us, talking about we too nice, we don't move you sexually and all that shit. We boring as fuck, ain't we? But now all of a sudden you talking about black loyalty and trying to patch together the black family. Ain't for what? The very same disloyal race of women who will shit and down black men one day, then in the next, now all of a sudden it's a cry for help. Now all of a sudden you need us and shit. Y'all need to make up y'all's mind.
But my last video really put a lot of things into perspective for me. So in my last upload, which I've linked up here so you guys can watch it when you're done here, it basically was a call to action. So
in this whole black women are not protected, what she did is similar to how she labeled this video. She labeled her video as as clickbait to stir up anger into believing that the black man that tried to shoot the domestic terrorist in the Top store at Buffalo, New York. She tried to make it seem like the black man that was there was incapable of doing anything, and that black men they're just too cowardly, they're just too weak. And from what I've heard, there was also another black man that was protecting people and doing whatever he could to save lives, but they don't get recognition. In the greater schemes of things, it's deemed as a failure because people died. And no matter what black men do or say or whatever, we're still the bad guys. We still fail. We still can't succeed in anything. But then these are the very race of women who are crying to us, talking about we need to marry them because they're getting old.
That all of us can get on the same page and hopefully reignite the dynamic of black love.
Why does the dynamic of black love need to be reconstructed or reconfigured? If you have non-select black men who are under 6'2", and black women ain't checking for them because Carlton, he's just lame, nerdy or whatever, what do you expect those guys to do? And that's something that a lot of you black women who are trying to enter or pussyfoot in the manosphere or in the black sector of YouTube, y'all don't answer those questions, and y'all ignore me. Y'all ignore. Hey, I might not get any views, but y'all see my comments when I put on when I'm on y'all's videos and shit. And y'all ignore me when I ask, hey, what are non-select men gonna do? Since the heyday of MGTOW 1.0 to MGTOW 2.0, we've been talking about how black women were not checking for us and they were looking for thugs. And 2022, well, really nothing has fucking changed. Y'all just want rich thugs at that, but nothing has really changed.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it just further exemplified for me that it's just messed up, y'all.
Don't advertise on Google Ads or Facebook before blocking click fraud with Clixies. Not a fun fact. 1 out of every 4 clicks is fraudulent. Lucky you. Clixies gives you
but the negative language about women, making jokes about violence against women, just overall disdain, anger, negative emotions toward women, it really just showed me that I, as a black woman, may not be desirable to the men that I'm desiring. So with that...
Oh, you mean what? The 6'2" guy who plays D1 college basketball, who has 2 baby mamas, 6 side pieces, and you know, that's your type, huh? That's your type, huh? You hoping he's bullshit and he's hoping that he goes pro, man. I'm trying to go to the Lakers, man. I'm trying to get drafted to the Lakers. If not, I'm trying to play for the go to Cleveland and shit. Maybe the Miami Heat one day. That's your type. But hey, a little old guy like me, that's not something you want. Even though you claiming you want to rebuild the black family and black love and do all that shit. Because when guys like me talk to girls like you or women like you, now all of a sudden it's I'm not really looking for anybody. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's me. It's just that I'm not ready for a guy like you.
Being said, what does that mean for black women who really do want to marry black men? Marriage rates in general are showing a decline, but the black community is being impacted at a disproportionate rate. So the $1 million question is, how did we get to this point? The narrative that is being heavily pushed nowadays is that feminism led to women not needing a man and ultimately being seen as less desirable. However, solely blaming this dynamic on the feminism movement means that you are disregarding history. There is no singular reason why the black community is in the state that it's in. I believe that it's a collection of things.
Black feminism can be traced back to the 1800s. However, black women were largely left out of the feminist movement that was dominated by white women. It wasn't until the 1960s and 70s that the black feminist movement began to make strides. There was growing tension between the feminist and civil rights movement because, what you mean you gonna leave us out?
Now I'm gonna pause here because this is a good point in the video to talk about the decline of black marriages. Please keep in mind that we're discussing the 1960s and the 1970s. As you can see, the time span of the rise of black feminism overlaps with when we begin to see a decline in black marriage rates. For this reason, many people attribute the decline in marriage to the feminism movement. But what else was happening during this time?
In June 1971, President Richard Nixon declared the war on drugs, which he said was intended to combat drug addiction amongst U.S. soldiers in Vietnam. But as we know, that wasn't really the case.
We absolutely cannot leave this part in history out, as the war on drugs led to the mass incarceration of millions of black men, which, by the way, is still ongoing.
So
come on, like, really, you really gonna hit that up? You weren't even born in that time, and you're literally gonna blame Reaganomics for you being single. Come on, girl, do better. Yeah, and really, truth be told, prison and niggas in jail ain't stopping black women from dating or marrying. Truth be told, I mean, shit. Yeah, women like Monica. Monica is a class act. Literally putting her life on hold to be with a nigga in jail. I already know another sister in real life who has told me for years that she was waiting on a nigga that been in jail for years. And she's in a marriage. She's married to a soldier in Fort Bragg, and she told me she was waiting for, once she gets this divorce finalized, she was gonna run to that nigga she met in prison, and she has a kid. a grown ass woman, leaving her man who has a freaking, job, stable career, and you're gonna throw all that away just to get with a man in jail. And then black women, once they see stupid shit like this and they see how it fails from afar, they'll act like, oh, it's the failure of the black man. It's the failure of niggas not doing X, Y, and Z. I'm like, you chose that shit. There was another woman on the Kendra G Instagram hookup show, whatever she calls it, and she was still married, separated but still married to a ex-con she met while he was in prison, and she wants to divorce him because he is abusive. Go figure.
I kind of saw before in my previous graphic, black people were outpacing white people in terms of marriage for a very, very long time. And then we saw this sudden decline of marriage going into the 1980s. As you can see in this chart, there is a direct relationship between incarceration rate and the increase of black men who were not married by age 35. So we can conclude that the mass incarceration rates have had a direct impact on a decline in marriage.
Today, black men are incarcerated at 5 times the rate of other races. If black men are being locked up and are therefore inaccessible to black women, how can we maintain such high rates of black marriage? But hold that thought. Another thing that was happening during the 1970s leading into the 1980s was the loss of millions of manufacturing jobs in the United States. Due to the outsourcing of manufacturing positions overseas, many black men who were skilled workers and had trades faced unemployment. People began pursuing.
I mean, even if that didn't happen, it's not like you black women want guys who work in the plant. Yeah, what y'all want, what y'all come to Kevin Samuels or Kendra G show, even though most of y'all are just playing around and bullshitting, y'all make it known that you guys want CEOs, you guys want these millionaires and all this crazy shit. You know, you want to live a fantastical reality TV show lifestyle where everybody's going to Cancun for every weekend, and you want to go to Dubai, and then you want to go to Japan, and then get out of here. It ain't like you guys. This is a bad faith argument, because it's not like you guys were crying over black men getting kicked out of the plan and all that shit. And then they don't even act like black men in jail and in prison wasn't stopping you guys from dating. Please.
Higher education for more desirable jobs. And as we know, there is a disproportionate number of black men pursuing higher education in comparison to black women and other racial groups. Black men struggled with loss of income, meaning that it was harder to provide for a family. And as we know, financial stability and economic status has been and likely always will be a huge incentive for marriage in the United States. So this is just my hypothesis, but it is very likely that there was no longer as much incentive for black women to marry. So as you can see, it is very, very late.
So she's trying to make it seem like there was no incentive, like black women had it together and they wanted marriage. Bullshit.
And that brings us to where we are today. So we know that there are less black men to choose from due to numerous outside influences. So what's up with this notion that black men are getting married at much higher rates than black women? This is where I'm really going to encourage y'all to do your own.
And mind you, this video was made because she was crying about being single and unmarried.
research, I have discovered that a lot of the things that we're told about Black marriage is actually cap.
So as we can see, Black men do marry more than Black women. Based on 2017 data, there is a higher number of Black men getting married by about 6%. We also do see that Black men are still marrying Black women, but we also see that Black women tend to marry Black men more often.
Here comes the we're race loyal bullshit.
Look further into the numbers, Black men are way more likely to marry out than Black women. So ladies, we need to really reflect on whether or not it's a good
And this is the funny thing with Black women and their dating preferences and their dating life is that they will do this whole all hands on deck, we'll take any Black man as long as you're able-bodied and shit. And they'll say this now in mixed company, but then when they're comfortable, now all of a sudden it's you're not 6'2". Oh well, I can't do anything with you. You don't do anything for me sexually, so you can pack your things and go away.
idea to hyper focus on Black men and exclude other races of men when Black men are not doing the same. You're essentially limiting your dating pool while Black men are expanding theirs.
Which brings me to the first reason why I feel Black women are screwing ourselves in the love department. Contrary to popular belief, Black women tend to have this unwavering sense of loyalty.
You guys are not loyal. You guys are more sexually attracted to Black men than any other race of men. Primarily because of physique stereotypes of Black men are usually taller. Black men usually are seen to have longer and bigger penises. And the media promotion of the thug Black man turns you on. The fact that you can watch shows like Empire or these other stereotypical shows where Black men are rappers or they're trying to make it in the industry. You love seeing the cutthroat. You love seeing Black men fight each other and maul each other for supremacy, for being on top or whatever. You do not love Black men out of anything other than that. You're not looking for intelligence. You're not looking for intellect. You're not looking for anything intellectual or whatever. It's mostly physical. Because when you look and compare to other races of men, Black women they don't get their heart on. Black women may be interested in dating these other races of men, but when it comes to sexual attraction, it's like it's really not even there. Black women don't know how to I'm pretty sure there's hardly any conversations on how to sexually please Brad or an Asian man or a Hispanic man. What do Asian men do sexually that turns Black women on? They can't name it.
Black men. No matter how often we complain, many, if not most, Black women would prefer to marry a Black man.
Because of the previous things that I said. Now, if the dude was less than 6'2", but you would actually prefer to be single and die alone. But hey, whatever.
You can see by the statistics, okay, and numbers don't lie. Black women tend to have more resistance when it comes to marrying out.
Because they know that most people aren't checking for them. And truth be told, a lot of Black women are more stagnant. You're not really leaving y'all's neighborhoods and communities. There's tons. Really, the whole concept of Black love or Black marriages and relationships or just dealing with each other is just primarily due to long-term abject poverty that is still segregated to where you have places to where it's like, okay, this is the Black neighborhood, this is the white neighborhood. black kids go to this school, white kids go to that school.
Irony of this is that
black people are very stagnant. It's really not until now that black men, or the reason why they're expanding their option is because they're able to travel more within the United States, so they're able to go to PWIs and get instant respect, and women are curious about dating them. And when you have black men who have a good promotion to where, oh shit, this guy is this guy's a basketball prodigy in the making. Of course, women are going to be enamored and want to be a part of that. They want to be the groupie. They want to be the girlfriend. They want to be known and associated with him. How many white guys, or even guys in general, are going apeshit crazy over a female basketball player and wanting to date her? It doesn't happen. It rarely happens. It doesn't happen. So the reason black men can date out is because we have a better promotion. We people aren't afraid or too afraid to give us a chance. And we have more positives than negatives, versus, really with black women, other races of men are just drawing for straws and hoping that, they get lucky or whatever. But, for the large part of it, they're not that attracted to you guys.
women are less likely to date men who don't have the same financial status or education level as they do. But mainly the education piece is what I see a lot of educated black women hyper.
You see, this is the thing, and I kind of find this funny, and I kind of find this to be bullshit that they're hyper. I think this is just a talking point that black women use as a defense mechanism to say that, hey, I'm single for this long, but this is the reason. It's because black men aren't in college. And like I said before, you're in Atlanta. You are by the fucking factory for successful black men in the making. Now, if you fail at that, I don't know what to fucking tell. I don't know. Maybe date women.
Focus on. As most of us know, black women are surpassing black men in
the laps. They're just running laps. Right past us, man. 4 black women just ran past me, man. I can't keep up with them.
higher education. So if you are an educated black woman and you know that you want a man who either has the same level of education or more education than you, it doesn't make
because if this was the case, educated lames wouldn't be lames and they would be revered and respected. When I was in high school, my senior year, it was kind of ironic because a group of females made it seem that, just because I was going to college, they thought that I would get tons of women because, black women love educated black men. They love black men who are inspiring and are doing something constructive with their lives. I ended up going to college and I got nothing. There was no interest. There was none of that whole bullshit argument of, we have to collect every black man we see. No, nobody was interested. Black women were free to reject me and date other guys, other black men they found more attractive. So, I was literally left with nothing.
Logical sense to limit yourself to a pool of men who are, statistically speaking, more likely
are complete failures. They're gay. Just keep going.
To be less educated than you are. Woo.
If fine, okay, what I'm a college educated graduate. You know, what do I get? Where's my fucking black wife? Where is that? You guys are not interested in guys being intellectual or smart because you find that as arrogance. You don't find it attractive. The only thing that you guys would count as inspirational or intellectual is Ray Ray and Pookie writing rap lyrics that he made up.